guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. I thought tonight I would do a video for those of you we like to call Disney newbies, people who are headed to Disney World who haven't been before, or even for people who haven't been in a while. Disney is a constantly changing and evolving product. They love to just redo things, change their minds, go with the times, all that great stuff. So I thought I would do a video on kind of things you should know in advance before you go on your Disney vacation. A lot of these items are for whether you are staying on property or off property. So if you are someone who is headed to Disney World and you either A, haven't been before, or it's been a few years, this video is for you. So I can't even say it's my top 5 or my top 10 because it's more than that. So here is my more than top 10 tips and tricks, things to know for you Disney newbies. So in no particular order, I'm just gonna start talking about stuff that you just might not know or haven't realized. So let's get into it. First thing is Memory Maker. So years ago, Disney used to have, what was it called? Photo pass photographers, and you could kind of have Disney photographers take your picture and you could buy, the photos one at a time, or you could get a special photo photographer pass, right? Kind of get your photos in a bundle. Disney has kind of changed that a little bit, and it is now called Memory Maker. Now, here's the kicker. If you get Memory Maker in advance, it's cheaper. So this is what you want to do. And this is for people who have Disney resort packages or are tickets only. You can actually add Memory Maker to your package or your tickets. If you purchase Memory Maker in advance, it's $169. If you wait until the bitter end, within 3 days of your trip or actually on your trip, you're going to pay $199. So pay attention because this might be something you want to add to your vacation now. Memory Maker includes every single picture Disney takes of you while you're in the park. This even includes video. That's right, I said video. So if you see a cast member out and about with a little vest and a camera, those are Disney Photo Pass photographers. They are located throughout all 4 parks, especially in front of iconic things like the castle, the Tree of Life, the Epcot ball, all those great things. So if you go ahead and scan your band, which would include Memory Maker if you purchased it in advance, they will take your picture. Every single picture that Disney takes of you is included in this price tag. It'll automatically show up on your phone, right, on your account, and you can easily send that off to Facebook, Instagram, send it to grandma, or print it out when you get home, or my favorite, make a photo book out of them. But yes, every single time Disney takes your picture, you get those photos. This also includes ride photos. That's right. So if you're on a ride, throwing one out there, Frozen Ever After, when you go down the hill, they snap your photo. That would be included. And there's some rides, let me think of one, Seven Dwarf Mine Train, they take a video of you coming down a hill and swooping by. That is also included in Memory Maker. And sometimes they do something called a magic shot, which is when they ask you to do something a little goofy, a little weird, like hold out your hand and act surprised. In the photo, there could be something in your hand to surprise you later when you go back to look at those photos. So yes, Memory Maker, think about it. I personally am pro Memory Maker. Why? I get asked this all the time because it is the only time Mia's mom, Mia's the head photographer, is ever in the picture. This was especially great with characters. So when the characters, the hugging and all that stuff returns, which could be soon, by the way, the photographers would capture these great moments with my kids and the characters while I'm still trying to fumble around, put down the backpack, find my camera. My kid is already off meeting, one of the princesses, and they're already getting those pictures. So yes, not only am I finally in a picture, but they can capture moments that maybe I missed out on. And on top of that, I'm gonna throw in another one that's photo related. Did you know that you can get a special kind of private photo session while you're at the theme parks? That's right, it's called Capture the Moment. It is something you reserve ahead of time. You can do it at all 4 parks. It is a 20-minute session of basically you and your family in front of whatever iconic situation, and a Disney cast member is taking your picture. So it's kind of like getting specialized memory maker photos. This is great for birth announcements. Maybe you want to propose, an engagement, special birthdays, all those sort of things. It is something you have to, get in advance, and prints are not included, but if you have Memory Maker, then, if you get the 2, you can then, take the photos from Capture Your Moment, print them out, Facebook them, whatever. But this is your chance to get a more specialized picture, maybe not with like 10,000 people in the background, stuff like that. So yes, know about Memory Maker and Capture the Moment. But let's move on. So when I was a little girl, and I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about, there was something called a pressed penny. Remember, you would put in a couple of quarters and a penny, and you would crank the crank, and it would smash the penny and print out an image. Well, Disney has pressed pennies as well. In fact, it's kind of a huge collectible thing throughout the park. However, the thing I'm going to talk about today is they've kind of transitioned the pressed pennies into credit card machines. So you no longer really need to carry around those quarters and those pennies, I guess what I'm saying. Most of these machines have turned into swipe the credit card. So even though, yes, you can still get pressed pennies, they are kind of few and far between, and they aren't as exciting as getting out the quarters and the pennies and doing the crank. It's more of a push button situation. So just kind of know that in advance. I have a few park bag videos where I would talk about making sure to pack those kids' quarters and pennies. Not so much anymore. But because of the 50th anniversary, Disney came out with these like collectible gold coins. No, not real gold, in case some of you are thinking that. Anyway, they're located throughout the parks, all 4 parks, Disney Springs, and a couple of the resorts. And there's 53 of them, if I understand it correctly. So they are about $5 each, and yes, credit card, or you can get 4 for $15. And each machine has a good 4 or so different coins that you can purchase. They are kind of larger coins, right? And yes, like I said, 53 of them. So if you're really looking for something to kind of do on the side that isn't necessarily rides and stuff, you can, turn it into kind of a scavenger hunt and try to collect all 53 of the gold coins. There's 3 specific ones. I do believe it's the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and Wilderness Lodge. That makes the 50 plus 3. So yeah, just another thing to kind of collect and scavenge about the parks with your kiddos, or perhaps just yourself. But moving on. Next thing is pin trading. I get a lot of questions about pin trading, especially, is it still happening? Yes, pin trading is still happening, just not as it was before. So before, cast members would be walking around with lanyards covered in pins, and you could ask any cast member that you saw if you could trade a pin with them. It's kind of died down a little bit. I don't think I've seen really any cast members walking around with lanyards anymore. What they do have are these boards, and these boards are kind of set up at resorts, gift shops, sometimes just in front of a little stand, where you can then pin trade. You can only use official Disney pins, the ones with the little Mickey back on the back of the pin. But basically you trade one of your pins for one of theirs. So 100% pin trading is still happening. You will still see those, guests walking around with lanyards covered in pins. That is what that's for. But heads up, parents, I'm gonna warn you right now. If you think your kiddo is gonna love pin trading, buy them a bunch of cheaper official pins in advance. Because if you wait to go to the gift shop to buy the super nice $20+ pins, I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to want your kiddo to trade those pins, because your kiddo could be trading a $14 pin in exchange for a cheapo pin. So go ahead, go on eBay, Amazon, whatever, get a bulk set of the cheaper but official Disney pins so your kiddo can trade those versus the super nice ones in the gift shop. So just a heads up on that. Next thing on the list is fast passes. So for those of you who have heard through the grapevine, you know, oh my gosh, Disney's so great, they have these fast passes. Or perhaps the last time you went, you enjoyed fast passes. I am here to break the news. Fast passes are gone. So if you continue to hear people telling you how amazing fast passes are, just note they haven't been to the parks in a while. Fast passes are gone and have been replaced by Genie Plus. Genie Plus is similar but different system that you now have to pay for. I am not going to go too much into Genie Plus because I have several videos on it, including one that describes every little nook and cranny about Genie Plus. But just note that if you are looking to skip the line in any way, you need to look up Genie Plus. It is something you can add ahead of time to your Disney World package. It is also something you can add day by day while you're in the parks. Again, check out my Genie Plus videos for more info. But this is just a heads up. If you're still hearing about fast passes, just note whoever told you that hasn't been in a while. So let's move on. Celebration buttons, guys. So this is pretty popular. Obviously, when you go to Disney, someone is celebrating something. Your birthday, your anniversary, a special event in your life. Celebrations are just constantly happening at Disney. But did you know that you can go and get a free, I said free, celebration pin? That's right. And this is on property, off property, doesn't matter who you are. If you're celebrating something, you can ask a gift shop, you can ask guest services, you can even ask at your Disney Resort hotel for a celebration button. You actually can put in here what you're celebrating, birthday, anniversary, whatever you want to do. And for those of you who maybe recently got married or you're celebrating a big anniversary, we've got this option. But those are 100% free. When guests wear them on their jacket or their backpack or whatever, if a cast member sees you, they will congratulate you. And sometimes a little extra magic might happen to you as well. Again, not guaranteed, but I've seen it. So anyway, if you're looking for something free and a way to celebrate some sort of situation, don't forget to look into celebration buttons. Okay, next thing. Now, parades are back. That's right. Festival of the Fantasy Parade is back at Magic Kingdom. So if you have been dying and waiting for a full-fledged parade, here you go, guys. Magic Kingdom. Fireworks. Fireworks are back. Woo-hoo! Fireworks are back at Magic Kingdom with Disney Enchantment. There's also a firework light display show over at Epcot known as Harmonious. And Hollywood Studios has like a flashing lights fireworks display over there as well. And it is rumored that Fantasmic is returning. We do not know when, we do not know how, but eventually Fantasmic over at Hollywood Studios will come back. But the reason I'm bringing it up, A, is to let you know that parades are coming back. But I don't think a lot of people who haven't been to the parks before realize how popular these things are. They are extremely popular to the point where people will literally wait around an hour to an hour and a half early waiting for this to happen. They will claim their spot to not only see a parade, but to see a fireworks show. And the same thing is true with Harmonious. So if you are new to Disney and this is something that is very important to you, I suggest you prepare to wait. It's just a heads up. And also those of you who are worried about masks, the fireworks, the parades, all this stuff brings crowds and crowds of people, most of whom will not be wearing their mask. So just a heads up with that. Also, Disney has cavalcades, which are short mini parades that kind of just happen in the moment. However, Disney has put times now on those cavalcades, which you can find on the app. They happen at all 4 theme parks. At Animal Kingdom, they actually happen in the water. But I want to let you guys know, because many of you love to ask me, Harmonious, what is the best spot to watch Harmonious. I've actually put this in a previous video, but I'm going to give you a quickie little rundown. Basically, Harmonious has a bunch of things in the water. So you'll be looking into the water. So basically, if you can see water, that is key. That's one of the keys. Also, there is a giant circular thing in the middle of the lagoon. The more you can see a full-fledged circle, the better spot you have. If that circle kind of turns and looks like this or kind of like an oval, then your spot, although okay, not the best. You definitely want to make sure you see that circle in its full circleness. Is that a word? It is so not a word. Nina's crazy. So one of the best spots is in the American Pavilion, actually either side of America, either America meets Italy or America meets Japan, because that's the best way you're going to see that full circle. Also on the other end of the lake, kind of as you split the difference between starting the countries, where Mexico's on one side, Canada's on the other. If you just go directly down the center, again, you will see that circle, kind of full circle view. Those are your best spots for Harmonious. As far as the fireworks go in front of the castle, obviously, if you can see the castle, that is a good spot. You don't want to be super close to the castle, but good enough because you want to be able to see not only the fireworks, but the projection on the castle. So anywhere near the castle, in front of the castle, towards the castle, you're in a good spot. If you're nervous for the crowds or you want to make a quick getaway, you want to do it towards the end of Main Street so that you can watch it maybe from more of a distance, but then quickly exit. When it comes to the Magic Kingdom parade, I have some favorite spots I'm just going to share with you. I love watching from Frontierland near Splash Mountain. That is where the parade usually starts. So you can kind of get it as it's beginning, and then when it's over, you can move on. So I kind of do love that Frontierland Splash Mountain area. A really beautiful backdrop is to just watch it in front of the castle. It does kind of go in front of the castle, so anywhere facing that castle, you will see the parade. And of course, the parade will finish on Main Street, kind of near the Emporium gift shop. So anywhere curbside by the Emporium, you can actually watch the parade kind of turn a corner and you can get a nice good view of the parade in that location as well. So hopefully that helped you guys for that parade, fireworks, all those good things. Let's move on. Next thing is dining. So 100,000 years ago, okay, not that long ago, a few years back, dining booked 6 months in advance at 180 days. I still get clients asking me, Nina, you never sent me the email. It's too late. My 6 months are up. Why didn't we book dining? Dining has moved, guys, to 60 days out. So exactly 60 days before your trip, you can book dining. If you are staying on a Disney property, this is the perk, guys. 60 days before the day you start your vacation, you can book your whole 10 days worth. That's right. Your whole trip's worth of dining on that one day, that one morning. If you are staying off property, it is 60 days before each day that you want to dine. So if you're staying off property for a week, that means you're getting up really early for a week to book dining. Dining is crazy right now. All meals are going super duper fast to the point where some off property people are not getting key reservations because they're just not able to. Again, another perk for staying on property, but you can go online starting at 6 a.m. Florida time and score those dining reservations, again, 60 days ahead of time. The other thing are water parks. Did you guys know Disney World has 2 water parks? That's right, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Usually there's only one open at a time. Right now, I want to say it's Typhoon Lagoon, but yes, so you can add water parks to your Disney vacation package, or you can just pay for it and go for a day. They are pretty crazy, awesome water parks, but this is my take. If you have a shorter trip and you already have a resort with a decent pool, I usually suggest people skip the water park. I say water parks are great for people who are here in the heat of summer, for people who love water. You're just fish and you love to swim and suntan and the whole thing. Water parks might be good for you, but for the majority of people, I say skip the water park and focus on the theme parks, because you can kind of go swimming anywhere. But if you are a water park person, again, some people are just more water people than I am. Yes, just know in advance, Disney has 2 water parks. Make sure you bring your own towels. Also, did you know Disney has miniature golf? That's right. In fact, if you book a Walt Disney World vacation package that includes a Disney hotel, you automatically get tickets to the miniature golf place. That's right. What is it called? Fantasmic Gardens. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, it's just outside of, Yacht Club, Beach Club, Swan and Dolphin. It's kind of around the corner. So we don't miniature golf every trip. We have done it before and thoroughly enjoy it, but I especially love to miniature golf when we're staying at Yacht Club or Beach Club or the Boardwalk, because it's a simple walk over. It is not as convenient for people staying at other resorts. So just note that in advance, that you do get passes to miniature golf. It comes with your package, but it's not always the most convenient thing to do. Again, I usually suggest people focus on the theme parks, because you can kind of miniature golf anywhere. But yes, technically, if you are looking for a day away from the parks, and if you're looking for a day to do something else, just note, yes, there is miniature golf on property. But moving on, hopping. Most people know about hopping, but I'm surprised on how many people don't understand the difference when I'm quoting vacations. So there's 2 types of tickets, right? There's your base and your hop. Here is the difference, guys. Base tickets mean you can only go to the park, 1 park per day. You can go to Magic Kingdom 4 days in a row if you want to, but you can only go to 1 park in that single day. So if you start the day at Epcot, that's the only park you can go to that day. That is considered a base ticket. If you want to start at 1 park and hop to another park, that means you need a hopper ticket. And right now, those are roughly $90 per person. And when added to your Disney vacation, that is a flat rate. So it doesn't matter if you hop 1 day or 10 days or 6 days, the price is the same, but it does allow you to go to more than 1 park in a single day. And yes, the Hopper Pass does allow you, if you're crazy enough, to go to all 4 parks in that 1 park day. And no, I do not suggest newbies attempt this, because park hopping is a lot of transportation. You'll get more bang from your buck to just kind of stay in your 1 park or hop once. Hopping to all 4 parks in a single day is challenging, and it's a lot of time spent in your car or on a bus, not necessarily a lot of time spent in the park. So when I get people who can only afford to go to Disney for 1 day, I usually suggest you stick to just 1 park. Hopping is more reserved, in my opinion, for people who are going for multiple days, people who have been before, people who like to try the different parks for the different reasons. Start early at Animal Kingdom, see those animals, have lunch, and then hop later to Magic Kingdom to end the day in fireworks. A very good option. Also, hopping doesn't start till 2 p.m. So if you have been to Disney before where you could hop whenever you wanted to, that has changed. Hopping starts at 2 p.m. So just heads up on that. And yes, hopping works with Genie Plus. So you can get your Hopper ride passes early with Genie Plus if you want to. Again, look at my video where I talk about Genie Plus tips and tricks. I will talk about hopping in that video. Next thing up is characters. Now, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but a lot of people don't really realize this. Characters are back. So I either have Disney newbies who don't realize characters ever left, and then I have people who didn't realize characters came back. So just note that characters are coming back on a daily basis. They are 100% back at Magic Kingdom. You can meet Mickey, you can meet the princesses, all that great stuff. There are many princesses over at Epcot and all the parks. But note, currently, right now, the day I filmed this video, they are still social distancing those characters. So you're more or less at a distance, doing you know, a photobomb type situation picture, or, you know, the princess is standing back and there's like a bunch of plants in a row and you have your kid stand in front of the plant and take a picture with, you know, Snow White in the background. But this is ending soon. Disney has indeed confirmed that traditional character interactions are returning. Woo woo! I did predict it. We just don't know when. So I'm sure there's a lot of kind of things to work out in the background that we don't really know about. But once Disney does figure that out, they 100% that said traditional character interactions are returning. So if your trip is a little bit down the road, make sure you stay tuned, because I will post when it's 100% officially back the way it used to be, which also means you might want to prepare and pack those kids some autograph books, because one of the key things that kids would do is to get the character signatures. So once traditional character interactions come back, that should most definitely include autographs. But for now, just note, characters are here. They are about. You can meet them. We just have to be careful right now as I film this video. So the last thing on my list is kind of resort mugs. So this is for resort guests, but I just want to remind you guys that even though there is no meal plan at this time, you can still purchase the resort mug. What is it? $19.99, so 20 bucks. You can use it your entire trip. Right now they do have two options. They're both 50th anniversary options, right? Here's one right here. Anyway, it gets you unlimited coffee, tea, soda, Powerade, hot chocolate, all sorts of random refills at your resort. No, it does not work at the theme park, and it never has. But if you are for some reason visiting another resort for maybe dinner reservations, or perhaps you're close to another resort and you just want to go over there and peek and see what that resort is about, your mug would work at all the resorts. It is a flat rate, like I said, to last your entire trip. So if you are a soda drinker, this is a good way to save a few dollars. This is also great for those coffee drinkers, because as I have said previous, when you check into a Disney resort, and depending on your coffee maker, you usually only get like 3 to 4 Keurig little cups, or 3 to 4 little coffee pods, you know, to put in your coffee maker, and that's it. And as much as you can call down to housekeeping and ask them to deliver more coffee, doesn't always happen. So we have learned to rely on the resort mug to get my husband his coffee refills. Sometimes when someone is getting ready, the kids will run down and get dad his coffee, or if dad's in the shower and I'm done, I will run down and get dad his coffee. So yeah, we have definitely got our money's worth with the resort mug. So my last thing that I want to talk about for the Disney newbies, or people who don't really realize this, is my bonus tip. Disney World is huge and it's popular, and pre-COVID crowds are back. And all the people that you tell, all your brothers, sisters, cousins, neighbors, best friends, whoever, every person you tell that you are going to Disney World is going to give you advice. They're going to give you advice and tips and tricks that they think are the best thing you need to know. Sometimes these tips are really old, which was the point of this video, right? To give you guys current information. And sometimes these tips and tricks are things that aren't relevant right now, or not relevant to you, because each person does vacation differently. Something that is great for a 4-year-old might not be great for that teenager. So my big tip is, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't think that you can do it all in one trip. Don't think that your trip is ruined because you couldn't get Bippity Boppity Boutique, which is currently closed right now, or you couldn't get Cinderella's Royal Table, or you couldn't get Space 220, or whatever the hit restaurant was that you were trying to get. Just because you can't get that experience doesn't mean your trip is ruined. I'm glad that so-and-so family member, friend, person said that you have to do that, and it was the best thing they ever did in their whole trip. Doesn't mean if you don't get it, your trip is ruined. You can absolutely have a fabulous trip without X, Y, and Z situation. Also note that it is 100% important that you plan. You can't just walk into Disney and just start riding rides. It is not a thing. Disney is different. You do need to plan ahead. You do need to listen to what I say in these videos. Consider all the things I mentioned earlier in this video. You do need to make goals. Have a mindset when you start each park day where you're going to start first. You're going to go on to the left side of the park. You're going to go to the right side of the park. Which ride are you going to try to run to first? Have a goal. Have a game plan. I always tell my clients to start with the top 5. What are the top 5 things you're trying to do at each park? Write them down, take a mental note, and aim for those 5 things. If for some reason you end up having more time and you've done 6 things, 7 things, whatever many things, then great. That was the icing on the cake for your family, for your day. But if you just focus on a few things at a time, I promise you, you can get more done. So make sure you plan ahead. Know all your options, know what's going on. Look at the park maps, figure out what you're gonna do. Make goals and come up with a daily game plan. I can't tell you, even now with all my experience, I will still sit down with my family and say, okay, we went to Magic Kingdom 2 days ago and we rode blah, 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 blah. Today is our last Magic Kingdom day. What do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on things we didn't get to ride earlier? Or do you want to focus on your favorites? That way, when we go into the park, we know what our goals are. We know what we're going to try to do. I 100% recommend this. However, what I don't recommend is a step-by-step, minute-by-minute itinerary. Those are just not going to happen. You do have to kind of go with the flow. Ride times are never what you think they're going to be. Your kids might enjoy something you didn't even realize they were going to like. They might want to ride a ride 2 or 3 times in a row, even though that wasn't on your step-by-step itinerary. So 100% you can have that game plan, but you also have to be flexible with it because things at Disney are just never the same. You are never going to get the same vacation twice. So anyway, guys, I hope this video helped you out, especially for those of you who haven't been to Disney in a while or ever at all. These are the little things to consider that can help make your trip that much better. So as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video, and as always, if you are someone who has been to Disney a few times, what would you love to add to this list? What would you tell a Disney newbie? Perhaps there was something I didn't mention and maybe you can help someone else out. But as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina, out.